Good morning and welcome to our webinar. My name is Davina Pillay. I'm the HR team leader for Durban. I will be presenting this morning's webinar on recruitment do's and don'ts. How is it done correctly and the costs of falling short? All our content will be available on our website, as well as you can visit our Facebook page and LinkedIn. A copy of the presentation will be sent to all our attendees. In this morning's webinar, we will be covering the following: knowing what you want, the role and purpose, preparing the job description and person specification, choosing advertising platforms, reviewing applications, conducting interviews, reference checks and pre-employment checks, the contracts and other documentation, onboarding and orientation, recruitment gone wrong, how do you know you've recruited badly, how do you fix a bad hire, the cost of a bad hire, if you can withdraw a job offer, and I will be taking questions at the end. So the first step of recruitment is knowing what you want. You need to know exactly what you're looking for. Ensuring you have an in-depth understanding of the role you're hiring for is very important. This will make the rest of the recruitment process easier and faster, since you will quickly be able to determine who has the experience required to successfully fulfill the role. It also ensures the candidate has a clear purpose and planned goals for the position when they join, removing any ambiguity on where they fit within the wider business objectives. So here are some key questions to ask when determining what you want. The first one is, why is a new employee needed? What duties and responsibilities will the successful candidate have? What skills or abilities are required to succeed in the role? And where does the role fit within the wider business structure? Once you determine what you want in the candidate, you need to prepare the job description and person specification. Try to include the key responsibilities in the job description to give a good idea for what the role involves, as well as giving a feel for who they would be working with and what success looks like. In terms of the person specification, this helps you to characterize the type of skills and mindsets that will flourish in the roles. The next step, you would need to choose where to advertise. There are a few platforms you can advertise the position. You can either choose a job site, advertise internally on social media, or get specialist support. I will be going through the benefits and drawbacks of each. Job sites. The benefits of job sites is it's a quick way to gain widespread visibility of your vacancy to thousands of registered job seekers. The drawbacks, you may very well end up with hundreds of CVs to sift through, and it's likely you'll get a lot of random applications as people often spam their CV out in hope of uptake. If you choose to advertise internally, the benefits of this is the person you're looking for could be right under your nose, saving time and money on recruitment costs, motivating employees through opportunity provision, plus they're already integrated to the culture and rhythm of your business. However, the drawback is, for some roles, bringing in a fresh perspective of new set of skills can help add depth to the capabilities in your team. Social media. The benefits of this, for example, LinkedIn is the #1 social platform for recruiting and screening candidates, with more than 350 million professionals present, above Facebook and Twitter, and allows specific targeting of content to the skills and expertise required for a role. The drawbacks of social media is that your company page needs to show good quality content. The platform is as much for the candidate to review if it's the right workplace for them, as much as if they are right for you. In today's transparent digital world, a company's employment brand must be both highly visible and highly attractive, because candidates now often find the employer, not the reverse. You can also seek specialist support. If you're already struggling to fit everything in during the process of recruitment, you might want to consider outsourcing to a recruitment agency, especially if you are serious about finding the candidate that ticks the right boxes. The benefits of such: a good recruitment agency can take care of everything without forcing you to relinquish control of the important decisions. Recruitment companies place hundreds of thousands of talented job seekers with satisfied employers. Specialist recruiting divisions ensure you have someone who knows your sector and tailors the process to your needs. The drawbacks of specialist support is that specialists understand that costs associated with using recruitment consultants can be off-putting, in particular to smaller businesses. However, using a specialist can both strengthen and speed up the process, giving you valuable time back to achieve more within the business. Company advertisements. Advertisements help recruiters build a solid brand identity that attracts efficient manpower. You can go with a traditional approach by using print media or use digital media for better results at reduced costs. Job portals. With the growing use of the internet, job portals have come to play a crucial role in connecting companies with candidates. These portals are a preferred platform for job seekers looking for better career prospects, so they make an excellent source for recruiters to tap into top industry talent. Company career sites. A mobile-friendly, branded career site that conveys your work culture and integrates with your company's social profile not only makes it easier for your potential employees to apply, but also attracts top industry talent with a professional theme, attractive headers, compelling content, and engaging employee videos. An integrated career site also eliminates the hassle of manual job posting while improving the candidate's experience dramatically with a customizable application process. You can also advertise on social networking platforms. Social networking sites are the place to find the most qualified potential recruits, and as a recruiter, you would not want to miss out on this massive pool of talent. With a combined user base of 535 million, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter offer a perfect opportunity to end up with highly skilled and efficient candidates for your company. Placement agencies are a perfect solution for those hard-to-fill vacancies that often demand a lot of time, effort, and resources. These agencies employ various tools and techniques to find top talent for your company faster at a reduced cost. Job fairs. Job fairs are a one-stop public event offering easy access to a large pool of talent for bulk requirements. They bring you an opportunity to create brand awareness without having to advertise, and you also get to network with other similar corporations while saving a lot of time and money. Campus placements are a quick and inexpensive way to find suitable candidates who are competent, energetic, enthusiastic, and most importantly, interested in working for you. Once you have chosen where to advertise, the next step is to review your applications. Good candidates should quickly and clearly highlight how the experience aligns with the available role. Revisit your job description and person specification for a reminder of what you are looking for. Don't feel bad about scan reading applications. The onus is on the applicants to prove their suitability as quickly as possible. You'll become skilled at this. After reading hundreds of CVs, you'll be able to spot the standout candidates a mile off. No matter how well you crafted your job description and person specification, you will always receive wildcards. And they shouldn't always be discredited. There may be something about the CV which interests you for other roles you have not even considered yet. Flexibility can pay off. Conducting the interview. The key moment giving you the valuable contact time with your candidate is the interview stage. Good preparation is key to getting the most out of the conversation. Enter knowing what talking points are important to cover, including highlights from their CV or application, and of course, key requisites from the role. We are also witnessing the rapid transformation of the interview process through new video technologies, such as MS Teams, Skype, and Zoom. Candidates' expectations are advancing, just as any consumer, with higher desire for convenient mobile experiences with a seamless transition between digital and physical interactions with a brand. It is worth exploring how new tools and technologies can enhance your candidate experience throughout the process. When conducting the interview, prepare questions that help to deep dive into the applicant's professional background to see how well they might be suited to your vacancy. Avoid asking abstract questions for the sake of seeing how they react. Keep the conversation relevant to the role rather than testing the nerves for the sake of it. Remember that interviews are a two-way thing. Your candidate will be looking to see whether your business is the right fit for their career. So remember to be courteous and sell the benefits of the position and the organization. An important note is to remember not to ask hypothetical questions on something practical you value as part of the job. Avoid asking, how would you do this or how would you do that? You will always get a model answer. However, you can ask, give me an example of where you, and follow up with, and what was the outcome? So when conducting the interviews, the use of psychometrics, this is a very crucial step of the selection process because the information revealed from this assessment will help you know if your potential employees will perform and stay productive in the long haul. This screening is absolutely unbiased, yet an important eliminator that efficiently identifies the right fit for any job. Psychometric tests can be your reference model for any given position because these tests specify the complete personality profile, behavior, flexibility, aptitude, creativity, communication, and problem-solving skills that are required to perform in a given position. Tests fall into two broad categories. Some tests are designed to evaluate personal qualities, such as personality values, interests, and beliefs. These are known as measures of typical performance. The test questions have no right or wrong answers, and the tests are commonly administered without a time limit. Other tests are designed to measure performance and typically measure ability, aptitude, or attainment. These tests are known as measures of maximum performance. The questions in these tests do have right and wrong answers, and these tests are usually administered administered with a fixed time limit. Careful consideration must be given to legislation around psychometric assessments. The Employment Equity Act, as originally passed, placed limitations on the use of psychometric testing in occupational settings in South Africa. Specifically, it specified in Section 8 that psychometric tests and related techniques need to have certain properties before they can be used legally to assess persons for jobs. These are: tests must be reliable, the tests must be valid, they may not discriminate unfairly against any individual or group, it must be possible to use them fairly. It is important to note that it is allowed to discriminate on the basis of the inherent requirements of the job. It is unfair to discriminate. It is unfair discrimination, which is forbidden. Now that we've gone through the interviews, we now need to do reference checking and pre-employment checks. Once you have shortlisted your top candidates, it's time to check their references. Consider references from agencies or the candidates, but also conduct your own references and on more than one company. Consider looking at their public profiles and endorsements like LinkedIn. Many employers miss this crucial recruitment step. It is essential to check your candidate's background to help you make sure they are everything they claim to be. Hiring the wrong person can be eye-watering costly. I will explain that later. Pre-employment checks and verification is an absolute must. Checks such as criminal checks, credit checks, as well as industry-specific such as qualifications, sexual offences register, child protection register, etc. The contract and other documentation. A well-crafted contract cannot be overemphasized. Carefully consider which items or conditions are relevant and try and future-proof for changing conditions while using the right language. Other documentation an employee needs to complete is a risk benefits form, tools of the trade, especially if they're issued with a laptop or a company car, retirement benefits, health assessment and medicals. If they are joining from another company, the exit medicals from that company. It is advisable to have these forms filled in prior to the person joining. It makes day one administration and settling in so much easier for the new employee. Onboarding and orientation. Plan your new employee's arrival with energy and care. Being the new person often feels awkward, difficult, and uncomfortable. Here are our top tips for ensuring a welcoming company culture, achieving good impressions early on, and gaining serious loyalty points by making a special effort to help your new candidate settle in. Create an onboarding checklist with things such as the toilet and lunch times, places to eat, smoking and personal break areas. Assign an onboarding buddy to help show them how things are done. Schedule meetings, meet and greets with a team and senior management. Regular checks on how they are doing without overdoing it, as well as an occupational health and safety orientation. So what happens when recruitment goes wrong? This can start before the employee has even started. The Employment Equity Act details unfair discrimination, which includes prospective employees. How do you know you've recruited badly? There are several signs that indicate you've hired the wrong person for the job. Keep in mind that one of these signs alone does not necessarily mean you've made a bad hire. Rather, you have to analyze each case objectively and consider the specific details and circumstances surrounding the employee you are evaluating. So here are some red flags. The employee is not producing the quality of work you agreed upon after the appropriate training and learning period. The employee does not have the skills they claim to have in the interview, primarily if these skills are pertinent to the job description. They are consistently underperforming and missing the necessary key performance indicators. The employee has a bad attitude, is frequently disagreeable or critical, or does not embrace company culture. They are chronically tardy or absent. The employee repeatedly makes the same mistakes. There is no accountability. They will blame others for their mistakes or failures. We receive recurring negative customer reviews or complaints about the employee. The employee consistently receives poor performance reviews. Anytime the capable and competent person you hired for a job fails to deliver on projects, work, attitude, or respect consistently, they've become a liability for you. Sucking up your time and company money, bad hires can quickly compromise the health and happiness of your business. When hiring a new employee, it is important to properly train them on their projects and duties so that they are equipped with the knowledge for success. Give them an adequate amount of time to take on their new responsibilities, since there is bound to be a learning curve in the beginning. Employees may feel entitled, develop negative attitudes, not understand their role in the company, or may not be sufficiently adaptive to the business. This may manifest itself in decreased morale in the group, missed deadlines, increasing errors or customer complaints, and poor quality work. If your new employee is consistently demonstrating the signs of a bad employee after the learning period ends, identify if the employee is simply displaying unexpected behavior or if it's due to an error in your hiring process. Examples is that you hired hastily without fully evaluating the candidate's skills and company fit. So, how do we fix a bad hire? Identify the problem and the reason behind it. The first thing to do is to evaluate and document the employee's performance. Identify trends and assess whether the issue is due to an error in your hiring process or if it's the employee. Rushing to fill a position, hiring based on a CV as opposed to a skill set, listing inadequate talent requisition skills, or failing to check job references. If one of these internal hiring errors were made, you first need to revise your hiring process. You will also want to assess your training process to ensure the employee has received the proper training. Discuss the problem with the employee as soon as possible. If the issue is stemming directly from the employee, discuss your concerns with them and allow them to correct their mistakes. It is important to address performance and attitude issues as soon as possible so you can resolve them before they get out of control. Performance management. Implement management with more frequent performance reviews or performance improvement plans. Many companies find that early action leads to the best chance of success, allowing an employee the opportunity to improve before they suffer irreparable reputational damage because they are not meeting the goals of the company. Adjust employee responsibilities as needed or if you are able to. If the employee is putting in a lot of effort but still can't reach their KPIs, they may not be the right candidate for that specific role. If they are a great employee otherwise, consider moving them to another role that their talents are better suited for. If the issue is more serious, stemming from a poor work ethic or bad attitude, the employee is unlikely to be a good fit long term. Attitude and work ethic are two things you cannot teach an employee. If an employee fails to deliver a strong work ethic and a good attitude each day, it is time to part ways. Remember, your business is not personal, and you can't keep it going if you let the wrong people hang out at your place of business all day. Looking for a replacement employee. If a new hire isn't working out, reviewing other potential qualified candidates before terminating the employee. However, don't contact anyone for interviews until you've made an official decision to terminate the employee, but it can be beneficial to have other potential candidates in mind, just in case. Terminating the employee. If you've conducted an analysis, discuss the issues with the employee, and are still seeing poor results, it may be best to terminate the employment. When terminating an employee, be kind, honest, and direct. Make sure you comply with the applicable labor legislation. Here again, the value of a carefully crafted probation clause cannot be overemphasized. So what are the costs of a bad hire? When it comes to hiring the right talent, there is no easy way or shortcut, especially when the cost of rushed or poor recruitment is so high. The Harvard Business Review states that 80% of employee turnover is due to bad hiring decisions. It is definitely evident that the cost of bad hiring decisions runs high. There are many impacts of employee turnover, one being the time and financial cost of recruitment. High costs are one of the more discussed negatives of high turnover. Every time an employee leaves and is replaced, there are costs associated with the process of losing the first employee and hiring and training the new one. Another impact is the opportunity cost of work not being done. delayed projects, reduced business activity, customers being neglected, and a decreased efficiency and productivity. In South Africa specifically, litigation and/or CCMA disputes. Can you withdraw a job offer? Is a question we often get asked. You may be convinced that you found the perfect candidate. However, you may discover something concerning. You decide you need to withdraw the job offer. Can you do this? Whether an employer can retract a job offer ultimately depends on whether they made the applicant a conditional or unconditional job offer. An unconditional job offer is when an employer can withdraw an offer at any time until it is accepted. This means that once the applicant has accepted an unconditional job offer, there is a legally binding contract of employment between the employer and the applicant. If you decide to not hire the individual, they can take legal action against you for breach of contract. However, a conditional job offer can be withdrawn if the applicant does not fulfill all the conditions of the offer. The conditions could include satisfactory references, a criminal record check, a qualification check, or a health check. Thank you. That is the end for me. Do we have any questions? I'd just like to remind you all that the presentation will be made available to everyone that attends and will be placed up on our HR Talk website. Thank you, Ashley. Okay, if there are no questions, I'd like to thank you all for attending, and please have a lovely day.